keep working. But we all know that. And I was thinking about China. I thought, and I don't say this, but, you know, and it's not every time, and I don't say it to post, but for many years, I look at the label, and if it says made in China, I don't buy it. And I think that's an example of what one small thing one person can do. And it, you know, it is, every one person does, the ripple will spread.
Yeah.
I will not, it's not every time, of course, and maybe you don't always know, but I would not buy something knowingly from a totalitarian state. Simple. So, that's, but I wanted to talk about Youth for Human Rights, and the Youth for Human Rights program, as we've heard, is an education program, and we've had some great examples from Lord McNair and from the Gambia on partners working using our materials. And I think we've heard about the materials with the video there and so on, so I won't repeat that. But I wanted to focus on why education, and particularly I found in India and in Nepal, people would repeatedly say to me, what is the point of education when the police beat you? What is the use of telling a child he's got human rights when the police beats him? So here's an interesting story, and it was mentioned here in this video. So the partners we had working there in India were teaching the police, and so I was invited to speak one day at a workshop with some 500 cadets, and I spoke about human rights, and this was great, yeah. And then the commandant stood up and said, well, thank you very much, but this is of course all nonsense. Oh, okay, right, now what do I do? I can't say the commandant's wrong, you know, I can't, what do I do? So I'm thinking fast on my feet, and I said, well, why do you think this? Why do you believe this? He said, well, to arrest somebody means to hit them and carry them to the police station. That's what it means. Okay, that's very interesting. And where did you learn this? He said, in the manual. This is absolutely true. I said, oh, by the way, I'm Australian. So I'd already cleared that I was Australian. I was not British. So I had some fellowship. So he said, the manual. So I said, where does the manual come from? He said, the British. I said, what do you mean? He said, this is the Victorian policing manual of 1860, whatever, which teaches you to hit people and carry them to the police station. So these policemen, young men, they're good people. They're people. They have been taught to hit people, like you saw. It's not because they're mean. Well, maybe it's mean, but you know. And of course, you act on those individuals and their crimes and what they've done wrong. But if you teach those police or undo this training that actually it's not correct anymore, things have moved on. There's some new police methods that you can learn. This is true. This is true. This was in Bhopal some 7-8 years ago. So then I worked out, okay, so we had, in this example here in Bhopal, we had in the state, excuse me, I forgot the name of the state. So there was 10,000 police. So if each of those police hit one person once a month, then I think, so 10,000 a month, yeah? So how long would it take to reach 1 million people that were not hit? About 10 years. By this one act of education.
Wow, yeah.
So I think we've heard many examples how education ultimately underpins everything. You have to act on what is happening there in front of you, of course. You have to act on the crimes. You have to act on the wrongdoings, but you have to, it's only education that reaches underneath that to resolve institutional or social viewpoints, social understanding, social, just the way the society has become, So that's why Youth for Human Rights focuses on education. It's all about materials, getting the materials into the hands of people in the field, in the world, where they're working to raise awareness and understanding of human rights. And I'm sure, particularly in societies where the society has taught people, where a lack of human rights is the norm, I found, particularly having been involved for quite a long time, you're teaching a younger generation, and that generation is learning a different way. And that generation is acting differently. They're not acting the same way. And that's only through that education of what is of human rights and humanity and decency and so on. So that's the Youth for Human Rights program. It was founded by Dr. Mary Shuttleworth. I don't remember what year now, but some 25 years ago. She was from South Africa, so she was brought up in apartheid, and that's what drove her to look at solutions in this area. Dr. Shuttleworth, is herself a Scientologist, and she founded this program. So the founder of Scientology, one of his principles or important points was, let's make human rights a reality and not an idealistic dream. So she took that on herself as an individual. And then in later years, the church started to support that program. And what's called the International Association of Scientologists became a primary sponsor of the program. So today, everything you see, materials and online multimedia resources, all these resources are quite strongly sponsored by the church and by the International Association of Scientologists. And then there's many volunteers like myself helping. So those that are not connected or working, you're very welcome to connect with me, and we'll see how we can help you, how we can work together, provide you our materials, provide you our support, connect you with other people, and seconding everything I've heard today from the other speakers. Thank you so much. It's always such an honor to hear fellow friends with the same points of view, and it builds your heart, reminds you that we're not weak, we are strong, and we will ultimately win this. Let's not call it a battle, that's a bit negative. What should we call it? This crusade. Perhaps not. Anyway, we will win this endeavor.
Yes.
Yes.
We will win this endeavor.
The truth.
Yes.